Welcome to the Pool Kind of Podcast, the new home for boxing. My name is Wendy, and I am your host and curator, bringing you the most honest takes on the sport I love without the bias and without the politics. A spot where we can all eat, seasoned veterans to the game and newcomers alike. So stay strapped in, subscribe, wrap those hands right, give us 5 stars, and keep that chin tucked. Tell your people about us. So who you got? The Pool Kind of Podcast. Let's go. What's going on? Appreciate y'all tuning back into the Pool Kind of Podcast. My name is Wendy, and I am here with Brandon. Brandon, say what's up to the people.
What's up, family? We back again.
Yeah. Y'all knew we back like we ain't never leave. You know, what was it, like a week? You know what I mean? Just a week. We got to rest too, y'all. You know what I mean? I know we here for y'all boxing needs, but we got to rest too, all right? So here, we are back, all right? Salute. Okay, so getting it started this week, how about we go over the fights from last week? Actually, first, let's start with the one from last night. Now, I'm not going to front, y'all. I'm not going to front, all right? I don't like being fake. Brandon hit me up about the fight, right? I was tired as hell. I'm not going to front. I was exhausted, and sleep I went. But that's why Brandon is here. Go ahead. So tell us about this fight last night, man. What did you think, and how did it end up? Yeah, Jojo Diaz, man. Go ahead.
We had the Jojo Diaz versus Jesus Perez fight.
Mm-hmm.
This, to me, was a career-defining fight for Jojo Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
So he fought Jesus Perez. If you guys don't know, Jojo Diaz was a world champion. Came up from the Olympic program, Olympic pedigree.
Right.
Tough lefty. And last couple fights, it just hasn't been going for him, man. He hasn't been able to get a win against really good competition. He lost against Devin and a lot of different guys they put him up against. So last night he fought Jesus Perez. It didn't go well for him, man. I saw the same Jojo Diaz I've been seeing.
Same tendencies
I've been seeing. I don't know if he's slowing down, but I feel like he's getting outworked now. He's taking a lot of shots.
How old is Jojo? How old is he?
I want to say he's like 34.
Go ahead, I'll look it up.
But overall, bro, he hasn't been able to keep up his volume, the work rate. I don't know if his defense is slipping. I know he's trained by his father, and sometimes I hate to see guys leave their trainers, but especially when it's their dad, and they seem like they have a really good relationship.
Mm-hmm. He's 31, by the way.
It's 31, okay, yeah. But he's had a lot of tough fights.
He has.
It's over for Jojo, man. After last night,
that bad.
It's it for him. I don't see him unless he wants to continue fighting and being like a across the roads fighter. Yeah. Like, hey, you fight Jojo, and then we can
right.
Just like Pedraza was last week.
Kind of like that. Let's see if you can pass this challenge. This is the gate.
Litmus test now.
Exactly, litmus test.
If you're gonna be that guy, then you can stay in the game. But to me, I think Jojo should hang it up.
But then at that point, you're just taking like punishment from like the next up and coming guys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it hurts because I was a Jojo Diaz guy, and I just don't see it no more. The power is not there at this new weight,
right?
And he doesn't have the work rate, so he's just getting beat up.
Some guys, and it happens to the best, but some guys, when they touch that kind of money and that kind of status, maybe they don't throw them punches as hard in the gym anymore. Maybe maybe the coach can't really control them or push them like that anymore. We've seen that. We talked about it last episode with Rolly Romero and his trainer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same type. We've seen it numerous times. It's nothing new. It's unfortunately a story in the game. We can even talk about Deontay Wilder and his old coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw him under the bus like
Mark
Greenlee. He threw him under the bus and reversed and went back. He killed him.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's side note right quick. I know you've seen what happened with Deontay Wilder's brother coming in, emptying the whole clip, exposing family secrets, deep, dark secrets on Deontay. I'm like, geez.
Family does that.
Is this like character assassination, or you feel like it's over for him or something new happened? I'm like, geez. I mean, it must suck. It must suck.
Being famous got to be tough.
Yeah. I don't want none of that. I don't want no parts in that. But man, I hope everything is good on that side. Doesn't sound like it is.
Right.
But we'll see. But back to the fight recaps. Unfortunately, Jojo Diaz.
Yeah, he just can't get it done anymore at this time. I think it's time for him to. If I was him, I would like to see him step away from the game before he gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, it was overall a decent card. It was like a Thursday night card, which was a little funny for Golden Boy.
Right.
But overall, a decent card. But I think that's definitely his last time being a headliner for sure.
I can see that. Unfortunate, but hey. All right, so next fight we got on the list here, Keyshawn Davis and Jose Pedraza. You just mentioned Pedraza, former champion, right? I think 2 division champ. Was a great fighter, right? But Keyshawn is next up. All right, so did Keyshawn pass that test for you?
He did. He did. Right. So I think all things, 2 things can be true. Right.
Right.
That's not the same Pedraza that some of the other fighters fought.
Very true.
Right.
Absolutely true.
The father time. And I also think the weight, like I saw Pedraza hadn't fought at 135 in quite some time.
He looked bad to me.
And he came down those extra 5 pounds when you're a guy that, can't really lose that weight anymore.
Right.
It's a lot of your energy and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
And you can see Pedraza came out like trying to push the fight. I think maybe he was trying to convince himself something early, but I think
bad idea.
The combination of the body punching from Keyshawn. Early body punching. I really liked how calm he was.
Right.
They fought pretty much face to face in a phone booth, and Keyshawn didn't.
He did his thing, bro.
He did his thing.
I enjoyed it. I thought this was a great win for him.
For sure.
Like we just talked about those kind of like litmus test fighters. I still got to see the next level.
100%.
I still got to see the next level. I got to see the next level with him, bro. I really do. I don't think he's that fighter that needs protection because I think he has the skill and his amateur pedigree.
Right.
I think he has a skill. I don't think he needs the protection. They because a lot of times they tend to. That's a business strategy for a lot of agents and promoters now. Let's protect this guy. Let's hold that as long as we can.
Right.
We got a long-term plan for him. But as a fan, I don't want to see that.
He called out Teofimo tonight on TV.
So. He's been calling Teofimo out since it's been months now. He's been calling Teofimo out. I feel like, and you saw their situation on at the presser on stage. Them going back and forth,
and after the fight,
Teofimo acting like he's reading a book. He must have gave Teo work in the gym or something.
He mentioned that I think it started the way that obviously Keyshawn Davis trains with Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
and their crew. He picked Terrence Crawford to beat him.
Right. That's his opinion.
It's his opinion.
Yeah.
And then Teofimo Lopez said that he didn't like that and felt disrespected. And Keyshawn even on the stage was like, it was just an opinion. I never disrespected you.
Right.
But you bringing me up and mentioning me is disrespect.
Right.
So I think that little switch has been ignited in Keyshawn. I don't think he's ready for Teofimo Lopez though.
He's not ready for Teo. Nah, not yet. Not
even
yet.
that there's such a big skill gap. The lights is just really bright up there.
Right. And Teo's been there several times, even though and we'll get to his fight soon, but Teo's been there a few times.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't want it to contradict what I just said about him not needing any guardrails.
Right.
But I'm just saying, as a fan of the sport, and people ask, oh, what did this guy do to deserve this fight? I still got to see him fight people first. Teo is like a retirement check. I'm like,
for me, maybe like 1 or 2 more fights. There's a really interesting fight that I would like to see. Raymond Moratayas in that top 10 ranking.
Okay.
For their weight class. And he's a top ranked fighter. And I think he's got the goods to me.
So you think that'd be a good test?
I think that's the test to me because I know Keyshawn won't fight Shakur Stevenson based upon their relationship. So there's only going to be so many belts. Somebody's they're gonna, you know what I mean? Somebody's gonna have to fight each other.
Somebody got to fight somebody.
Yeah, somebody's got to fight each other.
Because right now, man, we're gonna get to it later, but somebody got to fight somebody. Right. All right, so good win for Keyshawn Davis.
Good win for Keyshawn Davis. Really impressed. I would actually like to see him fight somebody maybe that'll push him back. If you notice like pretty much all his opponents, he's the bully. So I'd probably like to see him go against somebody that could push him back and kind of see what that'll do to his style.
I think we talked about it through text, and I was saying something about I want to see him fight like a boxer puncher, like somebody like you just said that can push him back.
Good legs.
Yeah, good legs. Right. You know what I mean? But that's probably going to be a younger fighter. And if he's fighting like no-name guys and used to be guys, I mean.
A lot of these guys, his feet are faster than them. He can close the gap. So just somebody with some live feet Maybe like I said, maybe somebody that could push him back, show us. I know he can box, obviously from his pedigree, but let me see you move around a little bit and use your jab and have to think and you know, so stuff like that. But he's on his way.
He is on his way, and I really hope boxing gets to a place where we can see these fights and we can see these guys actually get challenged, because that's the only way you're going to really grow this sport how it needs to be grown. All right. So moving right along, right? Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz. Wow. Are you calling this the biggest robbery of the year already? Are you prepared to say that or no?
I just feel so bad for Jamaine Ortiz.
Yeah, seeing his face, the look of disappointment on his face after his name wasn't called, that was tough, bro. Because you, as fans of the sport, and we're texting back and forth while this fight is on, I'm watching it, and I'm not gonna quite say like a master class, but as far as hitting and not being hit, he turned up. He did what he was supposed to do. The game plan was working. Teo was so frustrated when you saw Teo knocking his glove in the I think 11th and 12th. Like he kept banging his gloves. Like I'm like, yo, this guy is frustrated.
Super
frustrated. Got him. Like you got him.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Jamaine Ortiz loses this fight, I'm dumbfounded, bro.
I think that's an excellent way to put it, because if you don't agree with the style that Jamaine Ortiz fought, there's no way that you could say he lost. At worst, it was a draw.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the fight twice to ensure. I always like to, sometimes really close fights, I always like to watch it again with the sound off.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I feel like I'm not swayed by the judges and just see what I got. So I watched it, and the only rounds that I could see, like through 11 rounds, through 10 rounds, I had a 4-6, right? Mm-hmm. Going into the 11th, I scored it for Jamaine Ortiz. Mm-hmm. But it was a close. I'm gonna give Teofimo his credit. It was a close round,
right?
So to me, that was like the one swing round, and then I think Teo won the 12th round. Yeah. So I had it 5-7, right? But if you're gonna convince me that Teofimo Lopez won the 11th round, then maybe you could tell me it was a draw, because their punch volume was close,
right?
Like, you know, Jamaine didn't overwhelm him with output, and Teofimo Lopez didn't overwhelm him with output. The punch count was really, really close,
right?
I think I took a screenshot of it at the end of the fight. It was thrown 364 punches Teofimo to 409 punches Jamaine. And
that's very interesting for that narrative of like running.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And then Teofimo landed 78 and supposedly Jamaine landed 80. Right. So those are jabs mostly that Jamaine probably missed.
The numbers still don't lie though.
Right. The numbers don't lie. So for running, he landed more punches and threw more punches.
That's like Mayweather stats right there. Right. People say, "Oh, he's running. Hold on, he hits you more than you hit him."
Right. So if you're gonna tell me that maybe Teofimo Lopez's power punches, maybe it was a draw. We could argue over a draw, but there's no way Jamaine Ortiz lost.
I fully expected a draw.
There's no way he lost.
I fully expected a draw, and that draw would have been cheating. That draw would have been like, luck of the Irish. Hey, you're the star. Right. That would have been that. Right. You know what I mean? Because he did the whole, he had the whole circus and the Daredevil outfit. Right. He's a star. Yeah. So I fully went in expecting, okay, they're gonna cheat for him and they're gonna give him a draw. Nah, 117-11 is robbery, bro.
Robbery.
117-11.
Broad daylight robbery.
Yes, and that's you feel bad for the kid, man. Jamaine Ortiz, man. He's not getting a rematch either. I highly doubt he gets a rematch. Yeah. That ain't happening. They say the fight did okay numbers though. Did you see anything about that?
I heard it was kind of low. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it was a little bit low. That it seemed him a little underwhelming, right? But it was a Thursday night,
right?
So I think that's okay.
Fair. Super Bowl. I want to see that compared to the Josh Taylor fight.
Yeah, that's okay. I do want to give Teofimo Lopez his credit because this wasn't like a mandatory challenger. Right. So I think it's fair to confirm that Teofimo Lopez struggles with left-hand fighters. He struggles with southpaws, and you picked another southpaw to fight. Mm-hmm. I know technically you can say, oh, well, he beat Josh Taylor and he beat Teofimo Lopez. He beat Lomachenko.
Right, yeah.
Lomachenko was coming on, though.
Right.
He just got started too late. Right. Like, Lomachenko, as a lefty, was having success.
Right.
Sandor Martin clearly had success.
That fight.
And Jamaine Ortiz clearly had success.
Absolutely.
Like, so I give him respect for fighting another awkward southpaw. You fought a young guy with good legs.
He clearly expected it to be easier than it was.
It was going to be easier than it was.
Right. I think Teo's about to have a hard time with these next one. I think he needs to pick his challengers very carefully.
I agree with that.
I see him catching another. It's going to be an obvious L. I don't think he's and obviously we don't know him personally. We can only judge a man by his actions. He don't seem all there, bro. He really don't seem all there. And it's unfortunate to have a situation like this with the judging in boxing further deteriorating the reputation that the sport has, man. We don't need that in the sport. Now, that brings me to my next
I have a quick question for you about this fight real quick.
What's up?
Teofimo reminds me of somebody, and I wanted to see if you agree with this. He reminds me a little bit of like young Andre Berto.
Huh. That used to be my guy back in the day,
loved
too.
Andre Berto, too.
Interesting.
But just like style-wise, like
stylistically.
They kind of like, fight from the same kind of shoulder rolls type stance, but it's like everything was like super explosive. And I always wished if like Andre Berto was like if he just measured himself a little bit more and everything wasn't thrown at like 100%. I feel like Teo does that. Everything's so fancy and everything's like 100%.
He's just a bit more he's a lot more athletic. I'd give him that. Then Berto. Berto was obviously athletic, but it's just different. It was different, and obviously Teo's more of a showman.
Yeah, I would say that. The reason why I give him Berto is like Berto early had a lot of powerful knockouts.
Yeah.
Like really one punch uppercut knockouts.
Berto was like a better Bradley to me.
Yeah, I can see
like
that.
A better Tim Bradley, like a more athletic Tim Bradley, a more skilled Tim Bradley.
But he was he was super explosive with his punches.
He was
like similar to how Teofimo kind of explodes with his punches. It's just that I feel like that style. It's so hard to everything to be your power punch. Every shot to be this one's gonna get him punch.
And I think you talking about Berto. I think he just won recently. I think
he lost.
He lost. Yeah, that's right. He did
Garcia,
lose.
Yeah.
You're right.
The last
that's right.
Showtime card.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah,
he was one of my first favorites.
That style kind of they kind of just remind me of each other when I watch it. Of like because Teo's super explosive.
He is.
But it's like, man, if he just put a couple more jabs and stuff together, I feel like maybe they need to add like another coach. Not that he needs to fire his dad, because his dad
needs to change something, bro.
But something needs to be like he doesn't jab.
My issue with him is that he is very athletic, right? And sometimes these very athletic guys get lazy.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes these very athletic guys take shortcuts because they can and they're used to doing it. But when they meet a capable fighter, they're gonna make you pay for that.
He does a lot of stuff too. Shout out to Stephen Breadman Edwards, the coach. He's coach of Caleb Plant. I listened to an interview he had. And he had a really good breakdown of like how Teofimo Lopez is so athletic that sometimes he does like showman type blocking and like he'll move around when a punch comes and stuff like that. He gets so off balance that like the person that he was just trying to cut the ring off is now moved like 3 more feet away because he threw one punch and you spun in a circle. Like, what are you doing?
And you bringing up cutting the ring off, bro. That was exactly what you don't want to do when you're cutting the ring off, bro. Let's see. Hold on. Tim Bradley had a quote where he actually said that and this was during the 9th round. I remember hearing it and I'm like, I got to take this down. But he said that low output rounds usually go to the aggressor due to the judge's interpretation as that being generalship or ring generalship. So what that brings me to, because I personally don't agree. I think that the guy controlling the action that's the one who is winning the fight to me. If I'm causing you to run in circles and cutting off the ring, would you agree is a skill? Would you agree with that? That's a skill. Like you should learn that in the gym.
Agree.
So if I'm hitting you and moving, stick and move, and you can't cut off the ring, that's on you.
And I don't feel like Ortiz was getting credit for his check hooks. He was throwing like a right hook to get out.
Right.
And oh man, he was landing it. It was money. He was landing a good jab.
Right.
Now it's not the most powerful punch.
No,
I'm not telling you that at any point Teofimo Lopez was hurt.
Right.
But that's still a scoring blow.
Right. It should be a scoring blow. 117-11, they weren't scoring it.
Yeah, it's not running. It's not running.
So I guess I gave somewhat of an assessment of what ring generalship is, but what do you think ring generalship is? How do you measure that situation? And is that something we should even be like looking to shift how judges see it, or looking to shift how maybe fans see it? Because that's a sport-wide thing. Everybody thinks you got to stand in the phone booth the whole time, or everybody thinks that, the only style that's favorable in the sport is Mexican style.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I heard Terrence Crawford mention that, this is boxing.
Yeah.
The title of what they're doing
Sweet
is
sign.
boxing. This wasn't a fist fight, right? This wasn't bare knuckle brawling.
Right.
Right. And so I think it's important to note, again, the fighter that we're saying won threw more punches and landed more punches, whatever it looked like.
You just read the percentages out, bro.
Yeah.
You just read the punch count. I mean, I'm gonna rock with you on that one.
Whatever it looked like.
Yeah.
He threw more punches and landed more punches.
And I thought he did great.
I thought he
like
did a great
that
job
looked
too.
that looked like it lasted from 1 to 12. That looked like a game plan to me, and he never deviated. He kept, what was it? Teofimo kept failing to close off the right to him. I'm like, you don't see what he's. I see what he's. What are you doing?
Right side
I'm confused. What are you doing?
And
why aren't you stopping that?
Put a cap on that Ring Generalship statement. Yeah. From watching the fight, which fighter looked uncomfortable?
Yeah, Teo.
So who was controlling the ring?
Teo. And if he's he's exactly. He's lucky that headbutt happened.
Yeah.
He's lucky that headbutt happened.
That's the round that round he won only for the blood.
Yeah. Only for the accidental.
Right.
You know what I mean? I thought honestly it was gonna be over then. I thought Teo was gonna.
Man did a good job.
Yes, he really did. I'm looking at right as that cut happens, because to me, Ortiz was doing great at that point. So as that cut happens, I'm like, oh no, now he's about to lose the fight. They about to stop the fight, because it was right over the brow. But great cut, man. Salute to him. All right, so what we're gonna do now before we continue is take our first non-commercial break. We'll be right back, y'all. Yeah. And we are back from that non-commercial break. Advertisers, are you listening? All right. So since we're leaving that whole conversation about ring generalship and fighters running or not wanting to be in front of the action, all that whack perception people have out there, we're gonna go into this next topic, which is Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. All right,
I'm excited.
That's April 20th. And by the way, I didn't realize this before. I mean, I had no idea, but apparently Devin Haney is investing in a lot of I'm not gonna say CBD, but a lot of like marijuana companies. And salute to him, because that's the future, bro. Yeah. A lot. Salute to him.
Yeah, shout
salute
out to
him.
Pack company or something.
Salute to him. So it's not a surprise that the fight is on 420. You know what I'm saying? It's not a surprise at all. Salute to him. More success, man. But who do you think won that first, I guess you can call it a face-off?
Man, first of all, shout out to those guys for making big fights, man. Young guys making big fights.
Love it.
Love to see it.
I love it.
I love it. It looked a little bit like WWE wrestling.
Of course it was.
And I love it.
They're going to sell the hell out of this fight, bro.
That's how we get more people to join in and be boxing fans.
Right.
Obviously we want to see it on fight night. I want to see the energy, that same energy you guys have. I want to see it on fight night, but I think this is great for the sport of boxing, man.
I love it. And I can't wait.
They're taking a page out of the YouTube guys that get up here and act funny, right? The Jake Pauls and stuff, right? It's smart.
I think that's their circle, though.
Yeah.
That's the guys that they hang out with, that they know. That's their age group, but the interest, the same thing.
Clicks and
yes.
Smart.
And personally, I love it because that's bringing youth to the sport. That's bringing a different fan base. Ryan Garcia and his security guard had me laughing, bro. I'm over here sending you clips and we talk, bro.
I think our era was more like the press conference Floyd Mayweather type of stuff, and I think these new guys are like, like before. Oh, there's a fake altercation, like there's turmoil type stuff, and I think that's awesome. See, right? It's just a little different.
Back in the day, there was, I don't think fake altercation is new at all.
Right.
But back in the day, you also had a lot of real altercations.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like Mike Lennox. What's his name? Let's go, champ. Briggs. Shannon Briggs. Like press conferences used to be crazy. Like, I mean, and by the way, I'm sorry. I got to mention this because there was a comment I made a few episodes ago in regards to Muhammad Ali. Apparently it was it Joe Frazier or Joe Lewis? I found out who it was. And it was it was fake. It was to boost the fight. Yeah. So it was not real. It was Sonny Liston pointed a cap gun at Ali and shot it. And it wasn't actually real. So
shout out to Wendy for fact finding.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I can't remember who exactly it was because I couldn't find it out on while we were recording and whatnot. But that was that situation. But if you are a fan of the sport or looking to get more into the sport and understand it or whatever, if you can't figure out which fight is the fight, listen. Mark April 20th on your calendar. If you're a smoker, you already got it marked on your calendar. Figure out how you're gonna watch this fight. All right.
To your schedule that day.
Trust me. This is it. This is gonna be the event. I think this has potential to be the biggest fight of the year.
I think we see the best Ryan in this fight that we're gonna get probably too.
Interesting.
Only
who you got? We're gonna kill.
Yeah,
we're gonna do our thing on who
just
you got.
for a comfort level, right? Not picking sides, but I think just like comfortability, like
Okay.
someone you've seen in the ring 6 times before already.
More time with his new coach
More
as
time
well.
with his new coach, right? You've already faced the big bad wolf. It wasn't so bad. You didn't win, right? But it wasn't so bad.
Right.
I feel like we see the most, like, I feel like this might be the best Ryan we see. Doesn't mean it's going to come out in a win. But I think
we'll see.
Yeah.
I ain't picking nobody either right now. We save that for who you got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited, bro.
I'm excited for
I'm
that.
very excited. Yeah, I can't wait for this.
Fights being made.
Right. Amen. 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 All right, so you got Ryan winning that face off? You kind of
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Ryan winning that.
Was it the push? Was it the neck push?
I think he's just a little more natural in some of those things. Like,
okay.
I feel like Devin is he's social media savvy, but Ryan is just like, that's what he does. He's the young LA model guy. He's always with Jake Paul and them. I think it just looks funny.
He caught a lot of flack for his interview. He was on its podcast called the PBD Show or something like that, and he was eating during the interview. People got a chance to see his personality, and it was kind of like, oh, this guy's in the comments. You can see some people, oh, this guy's stupid. Why are you interviewing him? I'm like, it's not. I mean, it wasn't a good look. I didn't get why he was even on that show, but yeah, I caught wind of that, and it was like, that probably wasn't a. I mean, that because your fan base doesn't watch that show, so it's like, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so catching wind of conversations, I heard of this and you guys should already know, because if you guys paid attention to our list that we made, you guys should already know Naoya Inoue. He had some comments recently where he talked about Japanese fighters having more heart than American fighters, right? And as you said earlier, American fighters not wanting to get hit in the face. To me, that seems like a shot.
It does.
I think he's trying to entice some other fighters to come over there.
Yeah.
Personally, that's what I think. I honestly think he should come over here. He's only been over here once. But what do you think about those comments, man? Do you agree with him, first of all?
So I think it also goes back to interpretation of style.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of the, like, for instance, he just recently fought Cool Boy.
Yeah.
Steph, right?
Yeah, bad one.
He beat him.
Bad one.
Right? But a lot of these guys are coming up in that elk or looking up to like a Floyd Mayweather type hit and don't get hit type style.
Right.
Right? So it's just interpretation of style. If you seem to think that type of style of fighter is not trying to get hit, it's not like you mentioned the Mexican style before. Right? High guard, come forward, take punches. Right? It's an interpretation of style. Right? So I think it just depends on who he fights from America.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm like, is he sparring a lot of Americans so he feels comfortable saying this? Like, I'm like, why are you feel so comfortable saying that? I was
having a hard time thinking of, like, right, in a way, just to be clear, is a monster. He's the best fighter in his division and close around it.
If he was bigger, people would have problems. But his frame is tiny, so they lucky.
I had a hard time thinking of, like, other dominant Japanese fighters right now. It was like, well, who else is he? Like, comparing,
not dominant, good. Yeah, there's a few good ones, but dominant, nah. He's the only dominant one.
Right. That's the only thing I was thinking of. So I'm like, who else is he using as a reference point?
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I just think it's talk. I think it's a lot of talk. I think he's trying to entice some guys to come over personally, because they are trying to. I think it's business personally. I think this comment is like strategy, because they're trying to pull him to come to America. So you throw a comment out like that to get the emotion going and get people to go over there.
He's just in such a tough weight, like where he's at.
Right.
He's like a little bit too small for the guys that we really care about. The Shakurs, the Gervontas.
The Tanks, yeah.
Right?
He's
just
tiny.
a little bit too small for them.
He's tiny. He's jockey size, literally.
And then too big for guys like Bam that we like from America. And stuff like that, so.
Yeah. But damn, that would be amazing. Like, catchweight, nah, Bam is really tiny. Damn, man. I love this sport, bro. I love this sport. All right, so moving on from that, bro. You just brought up Tank, and I just gotta ask you, bro, what the heck is Tank doing, man? What is Tank doing, bro? Like, who are you gonna fight, bro? Like, what are you doing?
The only thing I can think of, and shout out to Coach Calvin,
is
I know his coach was in some, like, legal trouble.
Yeah, I think he's good now.
I saw that he's, like, back posting on Instagram and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I can think of, is maybe Tank didn't want to go into, like, a really big fight without the coach he's had since he was a child not be present. That's the only thing I can think of.
He missed him for several years already due to incarceration. I'm not sure what that comes out to in fight total fights that he missed, but Yeah, I could see that. I could see that as well being a maybe a thought of his.
Because I from my just being a fan looking, I saw Gervonta train with like Adrian. They trained down south,
Yeah,
right? But even at the fight, like Calvin was there,
that's
right?
fair.
So
That's
like
fair.
I haven't seen too many like big fights where Coach Calvin wasn't in his
Mhm.
corner. If he wasn't the chief coach, like as
Right.
an assistant,
Right.
so I just think he maybe was like, it's like
Interesting.
a father figure. Maybe he just didn't want to do that,
Right.
and I can respect that 100%. I'm a little nervous for the whole PBC side of boxing in general. I'm not sure what they're doing. This
I don't know what's
it's
going on with
about
them
to be
either.
March, man, and
I think they're trying to demand a king's ransom for a lot of these fighters, for a lot of these fights, just in contracts in general. And I don't think a lot of these other their potential business partners or networks are going for that.
Yeah.
Because it's business is business. They're gonna make money. So there's gotta be a holdup somewhere, and I would guess it's on the person asking for the money.
Like right now, we've already seen DAZN, Golden Boy, and Top Rank all have cards.
Yeah.
So
where
we at?
And this is kind of uncharted territory too, being Amazon. So I mean that could be causing some of the holdup possibly. But where y'all at, PBC?
Yeah.
Where y'all at? We need to see what y'all doing, man. What's up, man? But as far as Tank, I don't even think I can really come up with a possible form right now because the Navarrete fight, that's not happening. Yeah, Navarrete got somebody else he's fighting soon. I don't know what's going on, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
If I
Please.
was Gervonta, coming back from like he personally had like the little jail
He had
thing,
a lot,
right?
yeah.
And then something with his coach and everything like that.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't. I obviously wouldn't jump out in the water and fight Devin or something like that right away. I think his first fight should be something like to start the year off. De Los Santos that fought Shakur.
Okay.
Show Shakur what it would look like if you really fought him.
Okay.
Right? Because Shakur and them threw like 10 punches around.
That's still a dangerous fight.
It's a dangerous fight.
Yeah, I like
right?
that. I like that.
So if we get a good result for Gervonta on that
Right.
end, that makes everybody raise their eyebrow. Right?
He needs something like that. I hope he don't pick some no-name
like
guy. I really don't. I don't want to see that.
You're gonna have to help me here, but Chris Colbert lost to this young man, the lefty.
Yes. What's his name? Valenzuela.
Yeah. Rayo Valenzuela.
Valenzuela.
Yeah. So either Rayo or De Los Santos on the PBC side to me make really good sense. Frank Martin always would make sense, but I don't think that would be the fight.
I'm a big Frank Martin guy, bro. I'm a big Frank
sense.
Martin guy, bro. But nobody want to. Bro.
Yeah.
I want to see him in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him in the ring, but
we talked about Keyshawn earlier too. Keyshawn, don't forget about that. You barked up that tree.
I want to see that.
Don't forget about that.
I want to see that. That'd be a great test right there.
Right.
That'd be I think he can beat a Frank. Don't get me wrong. I think he can. But that guy who's going to put that pressure on him that we just talked about is right there.
But I'll say both those guys are kind of in that like middle range of the division of having to, try to get to be top 5, get a title shot. They're right there.
Yeah.
So yeah. But for Tank, I think like a Rayo or a De Los Santos to start the year off, and then we got to finish the year with something. We got to finish the year with something.
We need that.
Yeah.
Like we need you're like teetering on like, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be forgotten because when you're a big star like that, a big knockout artist, you're too popular for that. But you're running the risk of some other, like this fight is happening in April.
Mm-hmm.
If these guys really make the numbers that we think they're gonna make, and imagine if Ryan knocks out Devin or Devin knocks out Ryan, now you running the chance of them like leapfrogging you.
And you just don't want to be out the ring that long. It's not.
Rust, yeah, that's a real thing.
These fighters, they don't fight as much as the old guys that we used to grow up watching. And they don't put on as big a shows as those guys consistently.
Nope.
So you got to just stay in the ring and keep fighting and stay sharp.
Man, bro, this next guy we're gonna talk about, it's a very similar situation.
Yeah.
I think on a slightly higher level, just because of his the highest level because of his profile, and he's not even undefeated. Canelo or Saul Canelo Alvarez, man.
Are those the two? Just a little. Are those the two biggest names in boxing, non-heavyweight?
I think Terrence Crawford might have Tank right now. Terrence Crawford,
so?
I think Terrence might have. I think right now, I think Terrence Crawford has crossed the like Good Morning America's person's like TV. Oh, you know what I mean? I think that person might know of Terrence Crawford right now. I'm not talking about the boxing fan. Terrence Crawford, the year he's had
a great year. I'm still interested to see if he crossed over to mainstream. Only reason why I say that is like,
what's up?
Like we've seen Tank fight people that people don't consider like oh he's not Devin Haney, and the pay-per-view is still gonna do well.
That's fair.
You know,
that's fair. But that's boxing fans. I'm talking like who's closer to mainstream. Right now, Canelo can't do no wrong.
The reason why I say it may not be boxing fans is just like I know the young guys know, like the young kids, young guys that don't even watch boxing know Tank. Just like the hip hop, his like
they
style.
They know Terrence though. That's what I'm saying. They they know Terrence. Terrence did something to Errol Spence. They know Terrence.
No, yeah, I know they would be like, oh, I remember that guy.
Tank can't fight somebody like that would threaten him. And
oh no, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like Terrence Crawford's name. If you talk, you asked me the top
only notoriety.
Yeah, you asked me top 2 notoriety. Right now, I believe the top 2 for notoriety is Terrence Crawford. He's had a hell of a past year and a half. And Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo's name will always ring.
Oh yeah, Canelo's number 1.
Canelo will always ring. He's number 1
in my opinion.
I think Tank is a close third to Terrence.
The reason why I said Tank is because Ryan has that like non-boxing fan base.
Yeah.
And he just fought Ryan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Ryan has people that really don't watch boxing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's fair. That's fair.
But let's get to it.
Yeah. So they were just talking about him possibly fighting Jamal Charlo.
Yeah.
Jamal Charlo responds with, "Huh? I'm on the island on the boat. What you talking? I don't know. Hey man, leave me out of that." Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's probably not gonna happen unless them boys at PBC set it up for him already.
He didn't.
Yeah, and they didn't get a chance to maybe talk to him first. And because of social media, everybody has access, right? So it could still be happening. And I think that's a smart fight for Canelo. Do I like it? Nope, because damn well what you're going to do to Jamal Charlo is going to look kind of similar to what you did to Jermell Charlo.
I think that's the toughest thing right now is Jermell and Jamal are identical twins.
Yeah.
And
slightly bigger.
Like if I was a non-boxing fan,
yeah,
why would I be excited? Like, what is he fighting?
It don't even make sense.
He's fighting this guy again. You wouldn't realize like their names are very similar. They're identical.
Right.
You're fighting this guy again. We just saw you beat him up. Why am I going to buy this? Right.
Right. Business wise, it doesn't make too much sense. But I feel like Canelo's been wanting to be safe lately. None of the people that matter. I think that I don't think he could fight any of those guys right now. Like as a man, I want to see him fight Bivol again. Yeah. You got to get your lick back. As a fan of the sport, I would love to see him fight Crawford. Make it happen some way because again, I think there's top 2 names, and I think that'll be the biggest fight in a while. I don't think that's happening.
Did you see what Canelo said?
Was it the no? Was it that?
It was pretty much that he wouldn't get. He doesn't see there's no gain for him.
Yeah, I saw he said he would be ridiculed either way or something like that. I saw the video, but I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Crawford would be considered too little.
Yeah,
and if he lost, he got beat by the little guy.
Yeah, it sounds like a cop out, but it is what it is. Yeah. But I get it. He's not willing to take those kind of chances right now. I completely understand the business of it. Right. But again, as a fan, if I'm looking at the styles that you guys have, I think it's a great freaking fight. Now, the weight, I think, puts Crawford at a disadvantage. But I think his style is kind of like tailor-made to piece Canelo up.
If they made the fight at 60, like said, now I don't think 68 would even be fair.
If they make the fight at 60, I think it's safe. I think Crawford's winning, but I think it's safe to take. I don't think it should happen this year.
Yeah,
I think it's like top of the year type stuff.
I think
or December.
I think if they fight, that's the only way I could even see that. Like Crawford going all the way to 68, like Jermell did.
That's kind of crazy.
There's no way. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Canelo would have to come down. So I think 160 pounds.
Right.
Would be fair. And I saw Keith Thurman breaking down his weight when he was talking about his move up. And I thought it was pretty interesting. He mentioned that he normally weighs in around 147 pounds.
Okay.
Right. And when he was a welterweight, and he would always come into the fight around 157 to 158.
Okay.
So he's like, I'm going to be around that weight when I fight again. This time, I'm just going to be real comfortable and not as
right.
So I'm like, okay, thinking about that, like, okay, so if Terrence Crawford would get in the ring, probably around a similar weight, maybe he's closer to 160 or like maybe a little bit less.
Right.
That's not so far off, right? Like, I would feel even if Canelo came in at 160 and then maybe he gained weight, I wouldn't feel that bad about it. 168 just feels like a lot.
And honestly, yes. You're right. It does. But
168 feels like a
if
lot.
I'm thinking skill wise, and if you put up a little weight, but not too much, you don't want to put yourself in the trick bag. Obviously, that's different if the fight is a while away. You know what I mean? I think you should stretch that fight as long as you can.
Right.
But again, if I'm talking like skill, like Canelo throws those wide loopers, like I think it'd be a good fight for Crawford. He's extremely skilled guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I would love to see that. I don't. If you telling me what you just said, and I saw the clip myself, I don't think he wants that. I don't think he wants that. So we're saying,
what's up, Canelo?
And he says he doesn't want to fight Mexicans.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And I think both the Mexicans he's talking about are like half Mexican, right? Like Jaime, is Jaime full? I think Jaime might be full, but David is half Mexican or something like that.
Is full Mexican.
But you don't want to fight nobody at this point. Who you don't want to fight? You took everybody off the table. Everybody that we want to see off the table.
Right.
So who you about to go get somebody from England?
The only other fight that I'll accept.
I want to hear this.
David Morrell.
I would love to see that.
So
That's a good one.
So if you're gonna not go down the Benavidez path, I'll accept the David Morrell.
I would love to see that
because I feel like you would feel confident with Morrell because the lights are bright.
Right.
He's
right.
only got like 10 fights or something.
Yeah.
Right? So
I would love to see that actually.
Yeah. That's the only other fight I'll
Canelo, are you listening? Canelo.
Yeah, that's the only fight
I'll accept that one.
I want to see a Caleb Plant too.
Listen, I'm cool with that one.
Yeah.
Morrell, I'm cool with that one. Shout out to David Morrell, man. I'm cool with that one. I'm actually, that was a good one. I'm actually gonna get that on that. I'm cool with that one. I would love to see that one. Anybody else? Nah. Anybody else? Nah.
Yeah. So like, give us a Munguia fight. At least I feel like I just like Munguia's style. Like he'll put on the show. He's not gonna try to come out there and try to like outbox Canelo. He knows that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
So they're gonna go to war, and I'm cool with that. I'll pay for a war.
I'll see that.
Yeah,
I'll see that.
I'm cool with that.
For sure. Man, you got anything else you want to talk about, man?
No, that's it.
This was fun. It wasn't even that long. I think we probably on like 40-something minutes. Nothing crazy. That's cool. And y'all, we got some surprises for y'all coming, man. So please stay tuned, stay locked in with us. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. It ain't nothing but love. We don't have a who you got this week since there's no like major fights. Shout out to Shushu. There's a few guys.
Yeah, they're fighting tonight on the Oshaki Foster Nova card.
Right. So shout out to him. Yeah. That hey, we got eyes on you. We got eyes on you, young fella. We got eyes on you. So shout out to him. But yeah, know who you got this evening. But y'all already know we'll be back next week. That's all I got, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Follow the Pool Counter Podcast on IG and YouTube at the Pool Counter Pod and at Pool Counter Pod on Twitter. Available where you get your podcast. Show your host some love at WendyAntoine5 and email the show at thepoolcounterboxingpod@gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the movement. And remember, leave 5 stars, share the love. Peace.